Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with a general reading for the sign of Aries, April 2025. Actually, Aries, this is the second time I'm doing your reading. So, first time I had it on slow-mo, silent mode, and that doesn't usually work out when I want to put it out. So, I had to do it. I did it the other day, and I was just like, oh, I'm done. It was one of my last readings I did. So, here we are. Aries is on my mind today, so we're going to do your reading today. This channel is a channel that focuses on you, and in particular, it's focusing on your journey into self. And I'm trying to get you back to your authentic self, the person that you were always meant to be. And so, we're going to be doing today the Yellow Cardinal Cross, which is a classic for me because it's something that really gives me a lot of information about you and what situation you're dealing with right now. I'm going to look at the conscious influence on this situation. I'm also going to look at the unconscious influence on it. I'm going to look at what's needed for resolution with the situation you're working through right now. And then finally, I'm going to give you some advice from the tarot, and I'll also recommend a video for you from my other channel, Carol Cares. And in today's reading, I've been called to use Tarot Grand Luxe and this Radiant Rider-Waite deck here. So very heavy on the Rider-Waite right now, and it's like, no, this is what Aries needs right now. And I did have a card that fell out for me. It's not here. Was it this one? No, it was a king. It was a king. So definitely strong mind energy. Maybe you feel like there's a lot going on in your head, a lot of spinning going on right now. My kings are my ego energy, so we'll see if that's something to do with your reading right now. I'm going to put you on speed shuffle as I set up your reading, and I'll be back in about 3 seconds. All right, I am back, Aries. So, good thing I put you on speed shuffle because your cards were tough coming out. They didn't want to come out. My hand was getting so sore. I did forget I have an oracle card for you at the end, the Shaman's Dream Oracle. So we're going to look at that at the end as well. So let's begin with the issue, your decision. I'm feeling like there's a decision here only because of some of the cards that came out. You have the Three of Pentacles twice in the reading. We'll get to that, what that means. Any cards that kind of come out twice, or we have the Ten of Wands twice here, so that's significant for sure. Yeah, I like to look at that. If they're showing up twice, I'm like, there's something here, I think. So let's begin with the decision that I think you need to make that's kind of been stirring a bit with you. And this month of April is going to be the month where maybe you're going to make the decision to do this. That's what I think. So the Judgment card is sideways. Maybe, this is something you're fighting with. When it's sideways, it's like you're not sure, if it's upright or here. So in an upright position, the Judgment card has this angel that's calling these people out of their graves. So it's like there's something that's calling you. You're feeling it. And I know you're doing a good job at trying to avoid it and not look at this, because there are some cards that are coming out that I can see. So yeah, you're being nudged, you're being called. This is the nudging card, right? It's like, it's almost trying to, I like to say that it's waking people up, this card. It's like you've been sleeping for a while, or maybe avoiding something for a while, and it's like, okay, we're gonna wake you up a little bit this month, Aries. And the Three of Coins comes behind it, and here's the card that repeats twice. And so what is it? What is this decision you're struggling with? Because this is in reverse, so that means there's some real fear, some real denial about going towards this Three of Coins. And like I said earlier at the beginning, this is a channel that focuses on you. It's your healing journey. And oftentimes in our healing journey, we can go in and out of therapy. This is a therapy card for me. it's a co-creative card is what the Three of Pentacles is. It's your co-creating. And I look at therapy as having that one person by your side that's completely objective. That's not your family, not your friends, you know, not the ones that we would go to because we want a certain answer. You know, I always remember doing that when it was like, you know, let's say I'm deciding, thinking about going to therapy, and I'd say to a friend, should I go to therapy? I mean, that person's going to project their own stuff. And if it's somebody that stays away from therapy, has never gone to therapy, of course they're going to tell me, I wouldn't, don't, you know, no. So you'll go towards the people that are going to give you the answers that deep down you really want to hear is, no, don't go to therapy. So I really think here that you're struggling with either starting therapy if you've never done it before, going back into therapy. Sometimes it could be a nudge that says, you know what, you've been with this therapist for a while, and we do outgrow our therapists. And so maybe it's time to kind of, you know, maybe move on to a different therapist. It's not a question of, yeah, I'm going to quit this therapist and then move on and then just stop and don't do it. But, you know, you can always hold on to one, and then if this is the issue, and then you know, try to find another one in the meantime. But I know, you know, and the one excuse that, you know, there's going to be a lot of excuses we can use not going back into therapy. Money seems to be the number one for most people, but be careful with that one, because your ego will always tell you that you don't have enough money. I don't even want to tell you how many thousands of dollars I've spent on my own therapy for my own complex trauma, but it was something that once I found the right therapist 8 years ago, that I knew I'd be with her forever, because she's just that one person that can just, she's been through what I've been through, and she's a step ahead of me. And so she knows, you know, that's the kind of therapist I want, that knows what I'm going through. And so I think you're struggling with a therapy. And I thought, okay, am I sure about this? I wanted to pull out another card, and I normally don't, but for this middle part, but you got the Moon card, and the Moon talks about there are things that are hidden here that need to be revealed. And you know, it was like, all right, this is where I am with this. So I think you know that there are some things, and maybe you know what they are. I mean, I'm a survivor of sexual abuse and trafficking, and I don't, all my memories were repressed. I didn't know I had all this trauma sitting in my body. So, so that's why I'm not sure where you sit with this Moon card, whether it's, you know, something, you know, just look around at, your parents, your caretakers, your grandparents, your siblings. Take a look at what's going on with them, and you can start to understand, okay, if there's a lot of trauma there, you're definitely, you know, there's generational trauma, and it gets carried down. So if that's what you need to do, this is where I think you're sitting right now, trying to make that decision. But something's waking you up around it. So what is the conscious influence here? What are you aware of that's influenced this struggle that you're having right now to make this decision, whatever it is around your therapy, getting some help for something? Well, it says you're aware of these 10 of Wands that are in reverse, and I think you're quite aware that there's something that's, you know, keeping you really, really exhausted here, really, like these burdens that you've been carrying around. Like I said, maybe you know what they are, but it's like you're feeling exhausted, you're feeling tired, you're needing a rest. This person has to stop, because he's, you know, I mean, these carrying these wands has become exhausting. And so maybe that's where you are. You're just like, you know what, I'm tired. There's got to be another way. And, you know, when we have all these memories and we're continually pushing them down and not wanting to deal with them, that is the energy that it takes. I know I used to be so tired, so exhausted, and that beginning of my intensive therapy that I said I've been doing for 8 years. I used to always tell my therapist that, like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And now at my age, I have the most energy that I've ever had, because I've worked through a lot of my trauma. The Hierophant card is in sideways, and the Hierophant card it's in sideways. Yeah, it's sideways. The Hierophant card talks about this papal figure that's spewing out all his knowledge, all his wisdom to these disciples below him. And so, and you know, they're going to go on, and they're going to spew out their knowledge, but part of their knowledge is going to come from this papal figure here that's taught them. And so the Hierophant card comes out when it's like, you need to take a look at, you know, where did you get your information from? Where did you get your sense of what's right, what's wrong? How are you wired? How are you wired? I think it's really important. This card says to me when it comes out is, you know, you need to ask the question about how are you wired? What's going on here? Why do you have these wands? Why are you feeling beaten down? How are you wired in your life? Now, it's almost like what happened to you. How are you wired? Because I think, you know, I think there's some rewiring maybe that needs to take place. And this is what this call is, this judgment call. It's like, it's time now that you need to go back into therapy and try to, you know, undo some of that wiring, undo some of that trauma, undo some of these heavy burdens, you know. Take those off your back. See if we can, you know, take off the load. Nine of Wands comes here, and it's in reverse, but in an upright position. The Nine of Wands talks about this individual that's needing to create this wall around himself because he's not feeling safe. This is my boundary card. I'm wondering here if this is coming out for you to kind of say, you know, I think you need to look at, are you in a safe place? Do you need to create some boundaries? Or maybe, on the other hand, maybe you're someone that has just kind of pushed people away, and that's how you deal with stuff in your life, where you just kind of isolate yourself and put these walls up. I was like that because I knew that well, I didn't know, but there was stuff going on in me, and I needed to protect myself. So I would just push people away and put up these big walls around people because I didn't want to be hurt anymore. And so it could go either way for you. Maybe you need to set some boundaries with people because this is something that you're thinking of doing. And a lot of times when we're thinking of, you know, going back into therapy, getting back on our healing journey, getting back, deciding to, you know what, I'm going to take a look at me. I want to put me first. There are people out there that sometimes don't like that idea. They get a little bit threatened. And so maybe it's time that you need to maybe, you know, set these boundaries because it was in reverse. So that tells me that, you know, there's definitely maybe people that are trampling over you, or, you know, the other word that I'm getting is maybe controlling you. And there could be people that would definitely discourage you from doing what you want to do, is putting yourself first. And so what's the unconscious influence? And by that, I mean, like, what is it that needs healing around this? You know, you have this decision to make. Maybe, you know, there's a lot of heaviness you're feeling. There's something about rewiring, boundaries that need to be put into place, maybe. So there's something here that needs healing here, I think, before you can make this decision that you need to make. And this is how this journey works. Sometimes you have to unravel some things. You have to work out something inside of you before you can take your next step, before it becomes very clear to you what you need to do. And once you get to that clarity stage, it's like, oh, I know I'm doing this. I know I'm going back to therapy, or I know what I need to do. Because we can sit in this position where we're struggling with it and really deny it and try to put it off. But then once we start to go, okay, what's really going on here? What decision do I need to get to? So you start off with the unconscious influence, which is really, you know, about your childhood and your when you were a teenager, adolescence here. You know, what is it that you learned maybe about therapy, or let's just see boundaries. You have the Nine of Swords here. It's in reverse, but in an upright position, the Nine of Swords talks about, look at these swords that are coming at her. Look at all these swords that are coming at her. And she looks like she has been sleeping, but it's almost like there's this, it's waking her up at night. My God, it reminds me last night. I fell asleep, and it wasn't long. I swear it was seconds, but I woke up like that, and I hadn't done that for a long time. Your whole body just kind of shakes and you wake up, you know, maybe that's what she's done. When this comes up for me in my readings, the Nine of Swords in reverse, I think there are some memories. I see this as you have memories coming up. There are memories coming up from your childhood, memories coming up from your adolescence, I think, that are kind of creeping up here on you that you have buried. They're buried. They're in reverse. There's a real fear here behind looking at these memories, looking at your childhood, looking at those things that are hidden. Real fear here. You've put those away. They're in your shadow. And then the Magician comes, and the Magician is sideways here. The Magician talks about it's our Master Manifester card. It's the card that says, you know, when you are connected to the divine, which is, you know, he has this rod here. So he acts as a lightning rod. This is the card number 1 of the major arcana where he can manifest anything in his world. And we often hear that word thrown around a lot, like you can manifest anything you want nowadays. Well, you can. You can manifest people to come into your life. But what I've found is when it's happened for me, and you know, I had to learn this in my own therapy, is that if I've manifested something from a very ungrounded place, then the thing that I manifest in will be very ungrounded for me. It's not going to be something for me. It's maybe going to be something I need to learn another lesson from. But so this particular card when you were younger is that card where you can make things happen for you. And I think when you were younger, there was very much a part of you that felt like you didn't have that control to make things happen. You lost that control. You didn't believe you could change your situation. And I think that's where these memories, this card of memories is coming from here, where you were in a situation where you couldn't control the situation. And maybe, you know, maybe you're sitting with a lot of blame. Maybe you're sitting with a lot of shame. I don't see a blame or shame card coming up here. But what I do see is the 10 of Wands again. That's where these burdens that you're carrying right here. These are the burdens. These are the burdens right here that you need help with. So there's a part of you, a part of your life when you were younger where, you know, nightmarish things would have happened to you. Things came at you and you had no control over them. But yet maybe you're thinking you did. Maybe you've blamed yourself for something. Maybe you know what it is. Maybe you don't. But you know it's time. You know it's time to get some help. And so what is needed? What's needed for resolution here? Well, the first thing that is needed for resolution is the 2 of Pentacles. You have this individual that's on this high wire, doing some high wire act here. And you know, it's a dangerous act, and he's very unbalanced. He's very ungrounded on this. He could fall off any time, and I'm not sure if there's a net underneath. Looks like, I mean, they have pictures of ladders, but they're far away here. Yeah, so this card is very much my card of distraction, feeling ungrounded, multitasking. I mean, look what he's doing. He has a pentacle in both hands. And I know for me, even like when I've skied before, even though I might not have needed my poles, just the act of having the poles in my hands gave me that security of something to hold on to in case I might fall. Like, what are poles going to do when you fall? They're going to probably poke your eye out or something. But, you know, it's just, there's just so much distraction here that's going on. And I think what's needed for resolution here is that you need to become aware of how distracted you are in your life right now. How you are doing whatever you can to just not make this decision to look at what is needing, what this angel is trying to wake you up to. You are spending a lot of energy keeping dissociated, keeping yourself up in your head going, I don't want to look at this. Right behind it is the 3 of Pentacles again. Here's your therapy card. So that's what I'm saying. It came out twice. You are spending a lot of time distracting yourself from making the decision to go back into therapy, to get some help. And the Queen of Swords comes in. Beautiful card for you to kind of end here for your resolution. The Queen is the, and it's interesting because I did tell you that I thought that you were very much up in your head right at the beginning of this reading in the card that fell out. And I think you are. I know you are. Because the Queen of Swords is the feminine side to us. We all have the masculine side, which is the ego self, which will definitely keep us up in your head. And you didn't get a king here, and I'm surprised. I think he's trying to hide. Your ego self doesn't want you to know that they're blocking you from making this decision. They want to keep you up in your head. They don't want you to go back to therapy because that means you got to touch your emotions, right? Ego self's petrified of emotions, but the Queen here is not petrified of emotions. In fact, the Queen is the feminine side to us. She loves emotions. She feels all her emotions. She lives in her body. She's very, very grounded. So she's all about getting back to you and doing your inner journey. She has the sword in her hand. And this is the sword that's going to fight through all her bullshit. It's going to find out, what happened to me when I was younger. Let's get back to the real me. Let's get back to my authentic self. That's what the sword is. Your sword of truth, your sword of authenticity, getting back to who you are. And that's what she's coming up here for. She's coming up here as saying, you can do this. It's time. It's time to get back to who you are and your authentic self. And that's what the resolution is. Guidance now from the tarot. So what do you do? What do you do now? Well, here's the World card in reverse. The universe wants to bring some sort of closure for you. And this is what the World card I see in it. Right now, it's not. It's upside down. It's like, I just heard, your world's upside down right now. And I think the universe is trying to bring some sort of closure, some sort of focus, kind of end this period of your life, because this is the last card of the major arcana. So kind of ending this period of your life, let's put this, and we're going to move into this is me now. This is me stepping into my inner world and what happened to me. And that's what the World card does. It closes up a chapter, and let's move into this is about you now. Because they want to bring the Sun card to you. It wants to bring some joy to you. I think you've been sitting in this for a while and battling this out. I mean, if we have this many wands going on, you've been sitting in this shit for a while. And it gets tiring after a while. It's heavy burdens. It's heavy to carry. And the universe wants to say, okay, let's shed some light on this. And because this Sun card is a hard card for me when it comes up. It's like, ugh, because I've been in, therapy for 8 years intensively. And when you're sitting doing nothing but literally healing, I'm retired and I've been literally healing. And to say that, here's your joy card. It's like, fuck that. Like I've been healing for so long. And I wanted to see the sun. I think I'm starting to see it now. But it's been a long time. Like you'll see bits and pieces of it right along your journey. It'll come, it'll go, it'll come and it'll go. And so it's sideways here. So it's not like it's not gonna come on full force here, but it's like, we need to change something up for you. A new light here, new direction. Maybe I should call the Sun card like a new direction for you. I like that now. Change directions. I could call it joy. It depends on what but it is a new direction for you. And I think that's where the universe wants to bring you. That's the guidance. But got a big card here. Got a big card. This is the final card here. I think this is really, really what is important for you. Really important. You have the 9 of Cups. This individual, now this is in reverse because there's a big fear on your part to doing this. But if you know what the 9 of Cups represents, you're going to know why. So the 9 of Cups is, now the pip cards go from the Ace to the 10. And so this guy's at the 9. He hasn't got to the 10 yet. The Ten of Cups. Cups are our emotions. And the Ten of Cups is that full range of emotions that this queen right here lives by. She feels all her emotions. They come in, she processes them, and she lets them go. And she releases them. This person, well, look, he's taken all his emotions, Nine of Cups. He's put them in trophies. He's made trophies. Look at me. Look at how much I've healed. Look at how much I've felt all my life, all these emotions. But you know what? I'm done healing. I don't want to heal anymore. I don't want to touch my emotions anymore. So he crosses his arms and he takes that 10th cup that, you know, he's supposed to get to, and he shoves it underneath this blue blanket. I'm not going there. Instead, I'm just going to go, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to deal anything. So I call this guy the spiritual bypasser, the shadow bypasser, the one that no longer wants to look at his stuff, who says, I'm done healing. I kind of chuckle, and I know it's not nice, but it's like when people tell me I'm done healing, I'm like, you're never, ever, ever done healing. That was the big question I used to ask my therapist at the beginning of my journey, is like, when am I going to get done? When am I going to be done? She literally told me, I'll let you know. And of course, in my head, I'm like, oh, she just wants my money. And that was my ego. She just wants my money. She's going to keep me here forever. And so I told her what I thought. And so here I am 8 years later with the same therapist. She hasn't told me yet that she's done. And you know what? I'll be the one to tell her when I'm done. And because she's just been a blessing for me. But you're never done, you know. And I think maybe that's where you are. It's like maybe you've crossed your arms and says, I'm finished. I don't want to look at my emotions anymore. So you have a big, you know, and I'm going to call this, will you take that last cup? Will you take that final cup? You going to take that final cup? Because you got one more to go. Got one more to go. So Aries, it's been a incredible reading for you. I think my last reading that I did for you wasn't meant for you. I don't remember what it was about, but this one seems like a good one. So I'm going to read, you have Fortune's Wheel, luck and right timing. Interesting that it's right timing. So let's see what it says about right timing. The Fortune's Wheel is a sign that luck has found the right timing in your life. You have the magic touch and everything turns to gold. There's nothing you can do wrong. You only need to hold what you desire as your intention and it becomes true. Do not waste this power on trifling things. Dream big, for surely this opportune moment will pass. Such is the nature of Fortune's Wheel. Use the creative force of the Fortune's Wheel for the benefit of others, and the gifts will be returned to you tenfold. Use it only for your own gain, and you will be left impoverished and with the bitter taste of squandered opportunity. Fortune's Wheel comes unannounced. Notice the early signs, the coincidental encounters, and the seemingly magical and synchronous events that herald its arrival. That call, that email, that invitation, that chance encounter was no accident. They all were choreographed by Fortune. Do not wait any longer. Carpe diem. Seize the day. Recall your boldest and noblest longing and invite it into your life. The invitation is all that is required. And I think that this judgment card is a big invitation for you. Big invitation. Invitation. I'm saying that right. For you. So Aries, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This is an incredible, difficult journey. Your journey into self. But it's the most important journey of your life. Take care and I'll talk soon. Bye.